The Things We Keep by Gerard Smythe. The things we keep are not the things we need. The red flag and porcelain horse. A calendar out of date since John Lennon was shot. Those heaps that grow in the attic and the garden shed. School books of the old curriculum. The winner's cup we refuse to relinquish. A broken statue in salvaged shards. Black vinyl discs, each one with a groove where the gramophone needle got stuck or skipped. A carpenter's box with carpenter's tools. A stack of cards from anniversaries that added one more year to a love affair. A marriage, a lost cause.
Welcome to another Pleasure Podcast. I'm Andre Bagu, and today I'm joined by art critic and lecturer Dr. Marsha Pearce. Today we take a look at The Things We Keep, an ongoing exhibition at Medulla Gallery featuring work by Alicia Mill, Jamie Leloy, Michelle Lisava, and Nadia Huggins. So here we are, downstairs. And immediately to our right,
it's Jamie Leloy's piece.
And it's a tent, and we have to go in. Let's go in.
It's called Little Girl Playing House.
I got caught up in the
And we're pushing past bed sheets.
Straight ahead, there's a projection. And there's an instruction, sit with me. And on the projection is several images, one of which is a chair that's overridden with...
Well, the scale suggests that it's a dolly house chair.
Yeah.
And there is some food on it looks like, or something that is attracting ants, I think it is, or some other insect, which is disconcerting.
But I like how immersive this is.
It is an immersive space.
You know, we return to our childhood innocence.
She's definitely harnessing, powers of recall. It takes us back.
And look at the fabrics that she's used to make the tent.
Yeah, she's definitely drawing on a certain time period for her in her memories. And if we're of that time, for us too. So she's taking us back to a particular place. But she's also asking us to be vulnerable. In a way, because the space, there's a tension because I don't feel quite safe because I can almost feel these insects crawling on me.
Okay, next.
All right. And we have more instructions outside in the play tent. There's a lamp. There are sweets and teddy bears and a sign that says eat me. So we keep getting instructions, and that makes me think of Alice in Wonderland. To our right, we see some paintings by Jamie, and again we have continuity because there's an image here of a young girl's legs in a skirt or a young girl in underwear, but the ants seem to be going away with bits of the fabric. Of course, that makes us think about, we've all seen images of ants going about their tasks, carrying leaves on their backs, but of course it's very concerning here when we think that what they're carrying are fragments of a young girl's underwear or portions of her skirt.
Think of the body in its absence when we are with these pieces, and we think of processes of the body, and we think of ideas of nature versus nurture, and we think of sexuality, and then I guess we can think of larger social issues that might be related to all of that.
Of course. The violation of childhood and the eating away at memory too.
So let's walk now to the center of the room.
At the center of the room is Alicia Mill's branch, a found object from the landscape.
This limb that's literally been dismembered.
Yes, transplanted.
Plopped into the middle of the gallery.
Taken out of its landscape and brought into another setting. She has intervened on this object and added some outgrowths in clay.
Almost like little mushrooms growing from the branch.
Yes,
but the clay the clay doesn't quite match the branch, so it sticks out a little bit, but not too much.
Not too much. In some instances, you could almost miss them. And this is clearly some relic from a space that perhaps holds some importance for the artist.
I like to think of nature versus nurture when I look at this, and to perhaps view it as a symbol of how no matter what the artist does, their nature will always be inherent to the piece. It's as if the artist is saying there's nothing really unusual, or there's no barrier between the gallery space and the natural world, and she's inviting us to reflect on how both relate.
I think for me, the longer that I look at it, when I first encountered it, I felt that it didn't give enough room for entry for me, but the longer I spend time with it, I find myself thinking about this limb, as you called it, as sort of a metaphor or a symbol for legacy. What do we hold on to, and then how do we then build on that? So I think about her clay pieces as a way of describing these aspects of growing out of the relics of the past. If you think about colonialism, for example, in our space, how do we then build on these aspects, these components that we keep consciously or unconsciously?
Because they both come from the same materials.
Yeah.
Clay comes from the soil,
Yes.
the tree grows in the soil.
Mm-hmm.
I like the relationship between the wood of the
The
branch
wood of
and the
And
wood
this
of the
wooden
chair.
chair, the fact that she's again used the clay here.
And wood in Trinidad is, of course, very emblematic, very phallic. And in a room where there are a lot of the artifacts are about the female body, it's an interesting
Yes.
presence.
It sets up an interesting conversation.
And on the wall,
We have Nadia Huggins's photographs. For me, these allow me to think about keeping in a different way. When we think about keeping the rules, we tend to think about conformity. And here, I feel that once she's underwater, she is able to dispel those things that we keep in, whether it's gender, race, class. Underwater, she can become something else. And so she really adds another dimension, another layer in this exhibition.
what are these things? These dangling, these are like
These
fishing
are
lines.
fishing lines
just hanging.
with hooks. There are two hooks that meet in the middle that are connected. It's interesting that the piece is entitled Two Hooks Pulling at Each Other Without Any Bait.
Somehow I feel the hooks are. Somehow I feel all these things that are hanging around the photographs are decorative because the photographs are so powerful in themselves. I think these feel a little gratuitous. They don't seem as dangerous as what we see in the photographs. I don't think anything can see anything more than what's already there.
Perhaps more of it was needed, maybe. But I like the idea of thinking about
But then maybe there
keeping
was a
something without bait.
maybe they were reluctant though to like have people walk into a room with hooks. Understandably.
Here we have work by Michel Sava in paper mache. They're called Venus three-dimensional pieces.
I mean, do you see any references here? in
Definitely.
these?
The little ones make me think about that artifact, the Venus of Willendorf, that was discovered in the early 20th century. And then, of course, that figure, it's suggested, is tied to fertility. And if we think about that and we hold on to that, we can then delve into another piece in her series here, number 12, called Force Ripe, which features a paper mache body that is wearing loose underwear, loose drawers, but attached to it is a lock that seems to have been tampered with. And so again, it makes us think about keeping self, at least as a woman, what society demands of us, keeping chaste, the idea of the chastity belt, ideas of reproduction, and views of female identity.
What's number 13?
Or number 13 is a red paper mache form that gets really interesting if you continue looking at it, because eventually you observe that there are blades embedded in the thigh and leading towards the hip. And again, that sort of builds that undercurrent of danger and harm that I feel throughout this entire exhibition. I don't know what it means for you, but in looking at it, I start thinking about Sonia Dumas's presentation on the hip as weapon. She references Fela Kuti, who talks about music as weapon, and so she argues that in our space, the hip is a weapon.
I like that idea, and I kind of like how she's almost parodying the idea of the female body as a dangerous object.
Yes.
It's a dangerous thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the female experience varying from being objectified to then being vilified. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
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 Well, thank you very much, Marsha.
Thanks so much, Andre. It was my pleasure. Soft toys reported missing long ago. The Kodak camera bought with summer money. A roll of film locked behind its shutter, holding secrets we'll never know.